the first thing I wrote in the visual section is CGI janky.
It never gets better.
Oh,
Never.
no.
Marty Crombu Weebs, my name is Cole, his name is Mike, his name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 38 of the Anime Protagonist Podcast. And on this week's episode, Jay is telling us about a shoujo manga. What? Mike is talking about the Dragon Ball Super movie, and all three of us are discussing Overlord Season 1. But before we get into any of that, Jasif, what's on your mind?
Well, bust out the party hats and the exciting sounds for celebration, because I am elite. No, I didn't get a PlayStation 5, but I did win a contest.
Wow. Did you win a PlayStation 5?
No, I didn't win a PlayStation 5.
That'd be pretty cool if you did.
That would have been pretty cool, but...
you must have won something of, like, equal monetary value then.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What huge prize did you win?
I won a copy of the Beginning After the End comic and a signed poster by the author of the novel and comic.
Signed?
Signed, yes.
And?
That's it.
Oh, Cole's not impressed. I'm
No,
impressed.
Cole's not impressed at all. I'm hoping
cool.
when Cole edits this, like, he gets like a very sad celebratory sound effect in the background.
It'll be his
when I say what it
crickets.
is.
It'll be his crickets. Cole's favorite. He's nodding. He likes the crickets.
Cole loves it. We know he loves it. No, but The Beginning After the End is one of my favorite novels, and also, I guess, the comic. I haven't really read much of the comic aside from Volume 1, but I do like the story, so I'm very happy, and I was very excited when I found out I won. But
no, Jay, I'm just giving you a hard time. That's exciting. I know that you're like the only person in the world who likes it. So
I feel like I am, because everyone I talk to is like, "What is that?"
I think it's just like one of those ones where it's like the average 95% of anime fans don't go that deep.
Yeah,
but the people who do go that deep all really like it.
Yeah. But it is a very deep cut.
Niche.
It's a very deep cut within that kind of fandom. But
right.
Speaking of deep cuts within the fandom, Cole, what's on your mind?
Switching
it up today. Switching it up this week.
I was not ready. Well, in case everyone couldn't tell from my lovely voice this week, I am battling, I think, COVID? I can't tell. These tests don't really work for the new variants anymore. But that's basically what's been on my mind. I'm in a fight for my life, boys. But obviously I'm doing okay. What else is on my mind? I've been playing Polybridge 2, which is basically you build bridges. It's pretty fun. And my week's been pretty slow.
Have you been off work with this horrifying illness that you've developed?
Of course I have. I went back. Okay, so I was at family cabin over the weekend, and I was sharing a room with my cousins, and apparently none of them cover their mouth when they cough, so they were all coughing.
Oh, nice.
All night.
Oh god.
In this day and age, they don't cover their mouth.
No, apparently not. And then we woke up and they were all sick. And then I'm like, great.
Nice.
Now I know what's happening.
Confirmed.
So I was off Monday. I went back to work on Tuesday, left midway through the day on Tuesday, and I haven't been back to work since.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But today is the first day where I feel okay. I don't know if it's the cold medicine or what. I'm also moving this weekend. So that's exciting.
That's very exciting.
Perfect time to get sick when I have to lift heavy things.
When you have to lift heavy things and pack.
Yeah. So that's exciting. We're going to try recording in person soon. So that should be fun for the podcast as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what's on my mind this week. Mike, what is on your mind?
On my mind is Dragon Ball Superhero. And
oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's two supers in the movie title. I just watched it 3 hours ago, and it was very good, honestly. I enjoyed it a lot. It is, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in the news later, but kind of my quick thoughts on it is it's basically exactly what I want from Dragon Ball at this point in my life. It's goofy a little bit. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It has some really hype moments. It has a lot of like fan service for the old school Dragon Ball fans.
Yeah.
Like this movie is refreshing too, because it like Goku and Vegeta are almost barely in it. Like they're only really in it for a little bit. Then they have like a fight in it where they actually, the rules are they're not allowed to power up. They're not allowed to use Kamehameha. They're not allowed to use any of their cool abilities. It's just a fist fight, basically. And I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Like it's like a throwback.
That reminds me of the last time I saw you in person, Michael, when we had a fist fight.
Yeah, and I put all those viruses on my knuckles and then punched you in the face.
Wait. What?
I was gonna say, does Goku achieve victory by learning a new power up to save the day at the last possible second?
Here's the thing, Goku, you only find out the winner of their fight after the credits, because their fight only
scene.
Post-credit
Goku
scene.
and Vegeta are legitimately in this movie for maybe 10 minutes, and then the rest of it's just like
Dragon Ball Z's got like a huge cast of characters.
Yeah, it's all
but
about.
They always focus on them.
This one's all about Gohan and Piccolo and like them it's kind of cool because it's kind of how they got Gohan back into the series.
It's the Gohan redemption arc.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah,
my
finally.
boy.
Which I feel like they've been foreshadowing in Super for quite a while.
Oh, I sound very interested. I don't know that much about Dragon Ball, so I'm just kind of like smiling and nodding here, just going like,
Yeah.
You're too young. You're like a little boy.
No, like
little
Dragon
baby
Ball.
boy.
Dragon Ball was a thing when I was a kid. It was just not something I watched as excitedly as you guys did.
Yeah, kind of as we've talked before, it doesn't really hold up in modern day. You kind of had to have grown up with it when Dragon Ball Z was at its peak,
Yeah.
I would say. Which is why I like this movie, because it almost acknowledged that like its best days are behind it, and it kind of just like, here's some stuff you're gonna like, old guy. And it had
man.
The coolest part was this one kind of centers on Gohan's daughter quite a bit, and I can't remember Pan. Yeah, Pan plays like a pretty decent role in it, and like some of like the hypest moments are like involving her, and which just kind of like factors into my old guy brain, which is like the average Dragon Ball fan at this point is also an old guy like around childbearing age, and yeah, it's just nice to see that like the parenting. Goku is the best dad in the series, by the way. Him or Vegeta. Goku's terrible dad. Goku's a terrible dad.
Goku's a terrible dad.
Wait, did I say Goku or Piccolo?
You said Goku or Vegeta.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Piccolo. Piccolo or Vegeta are the best dads in the series. Goku's horrible.
So what was that about? I remember like when Dragon Ball Super first started, there was like this thing where Goku and Vegeta had mustaches or something.
I think that was pretty early in the show, and they might have only had it for like a minute.
Yeah, I don't really remember that.
You don't remember that?
It was just a gag.
I just remember it being like a super popular meme when it first came out, and then like it went away like real quick.
Super's done some weird stuff just for gags, because it's honestly like a gag action show at this point. So it could be. The other cool thing I'm going to say right before we go to the news is that it's neat that they did this entire movie in CG, and it doesn't look bad 95% of the time.
No?
CG's come a long way.
Yeah.
But for the 5% of the time that it looks bad, does it look really bad?
No, it's just like awkward looking, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's not bad then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have
know
a
what
fact
else
for you
isn't bad?
boys.
Oh.
I have a fact.
Oh,
Let me
you do?
state my fact, yes.
Okay.
Did you know that Captain Crunch's full name is Horatio Magellan Crunch? And his ship is called the SS Guppy.
The
I didn't
SS
know that.
Guppy. I mean, what else would it be called?
I don't know.
Exactly.
SS Crunch?
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't go with the obvious choice.
Yeah. I am foregoing my... Oh, sorry. I didn't give you a chance to play the drop for the news.
Live from Anipro Studios, the news.
Okay, we got a new drop for the news. I wasn't told about this.
Yeah, no, neither of us were informed of this.
This was my big reveal I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that the music was still in it. Good job, Mike.
Yeah.
Not as hype on this one, I guess. I guess we will not use it.
No, I was just... It's unexpected. Mike, I got COVID. Give me a break.
Allegedly.
I am foregoing my news story this week because we got lots of game stuff. We got lots of other stuff. So I will motion to Jay to say, take it away, Jay.
Oh, okay. First up in the news, a shoujo manga called Romantic Killer is getting an anime adaptation. Netflix Japan announced this on Tuesday that Watari Momose's manga is getting an anime and shared a teaser as well as the main cast, staff, OP artist, and promotional art. Rie Takahashi and Mikako Komatsu are set to star in this adaptation as Anzu Hoshino and Lily, respectively. The story...
I like Rie Takahashi.
Who doesn't? Come on.
Stop saying the name, because every time you say the name, I have to edit into the YouTube video.
Rie Takahashi.
Rie Takahashi. Short synopsis of the plot. When gamer Anzu gets transported to a world of hot guys, it's like she's in a dream. Someone else's dream. High schooler Anzu Hoshino has a great life. Every day she plays video games, pigs out on snacks, and pets her beloved cat. But this blissful existence is turned to a confusing mess when a magical creature transports her to an altered reality, bereft of her favorite things. Now she's stuck with hot guys instead. How could she possibly survive in such an awful world? Anzu must play along with this altered reality before she can return to her normal life. So she begrudgingly makes friends with Tsukasa Kazuki. He unfortunately happens to be one of the hottest and most popular guys at school, and what's worse,
So hot.
she realizes that he might not even be that bad of a person.
Wow.
Oh no.
So, typical shoujo fare.
Can you even imagine being hot and not a horrible person?
And not a horrible person? I can't even
That's crazy.
begin to fathom that idea.
Yeah, I'm such a horrible person.
Yeah.
I'm just hot.
Honestly, it is pretty hot in Jay's studio right now.
Yeah.
So I too am hot.
That's what you meant by hot guys, right? Like it's just really warm where they are?
Yeah, like on fire.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. There's no AC in the...
Well, like I said...
they're scalding.
She's living a nightmare, so all these guys are on fire.
Oh, that is horrifying. Almost like Fire Punch by Chainsaw Man author there.
Yeah.
He's just on fire the whole time.
Yeah, or Fire Force.
Yeah, or Fire Force. I will say, too, when you were reading out this one, for some reason, my brain, every time you said hot guys, heard it as hawk eyes.
I knew you were going to say that, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I hope they don't misunderstand that.
Like the Marvel superhero? I was just picturing like a bunch of
Jeremy Renner.
face. Yeah, a bunch of Jeremy Renner. That would be a good manga, too, actually.
That would be a good manga. But Momose's manga started on Shonen Jump Plus in July 2019 and run until its 39th chapter in June of 2020. If you want to pick up the manga, Viz licensed it in English, and the first volume is scheduled to release on October 4th. So you can also pick it up and read it along with or before watching the anime. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Always glad to have more shoujo. We don't really get enough of it, I feel like, anymore.
Yeah.
Need more shoujo.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. Speaking of shoujo, Mike, I think you have a very popular shoujo piece of news you want to talk about.
Yes, I will be talking about the all-time popular shoujo anime known as Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Superhero has finally landed in theaters in North America, and in doing so, I guess, and North America and the world.
Yeah.
And in doing so, it has become the #1 movie this past weekend, so 2 weekends ago when you were listening to this. The film hit theaters around the world following its Japanese release earlier this year, and box office numbers have revealed that the show... Oh, sorry, I wrote this really weirdly. Box office numbers have revealed which show just how profitable the return of the Red Ribbon Army has become so far. The movie has pulled in over $50 million US dollars worldwide, with 20.1 million of that coming in just North America just in the opening weekend. So that's pretty good.
That's absolutely insane.
Considering that August and September are traditionally like dump months for studios, where they dump like films that aren't going to do very well, it's pretty good that it's getting people to go actually sit in the hot theater these days, including me earlier today.
Yeah.
With all of one other person in the theater with me, which was nice.
It was just you and one other guy?
It's my favorite way to watch a movie.
Listen to this, though. It was me and one other guy. I bought my ticket earlier. There's no tickets sold. I picked the exact middle of the theater at like 2 rows back from the middle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which I consider like that's prime movie theater spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think the only other person in this movie theater decided to sit?
Right next
beside
to you.
They sat in the very first row.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, God.
When they walked in, I'm like, oh, of course, they're going to be right next to me. And then they go and sit in the front row. I'm like, what are you doing? What is going on?
Another thing I don't
psychopath.
understand. Why don't they, like, even if they booked their seat to be there, why didn't they, like, move if they realize, like, oh, the theater's empty? I can probably sit
when
anywhere.
you buy the ticket, you pick your seat in advance where
well,
we are.
Right,
so.
but, like, if it's empty, then, like, who cares?
I know, but he could have just bought the ticket for one of the empty seats, which was all of them.
Yeah,
if he
I
didn't want to
guess.
sit there, he would have picked a
He
different
wanted.
seat.
He
wanted
chose to sit there.
That was a choice.
He made a choice.
Maybe he didn't like stairs. I don't know.
Maybe
Anyway.
he was being like COVID cautious and trying to like sit away from all the other people, assuming that more people would get a ticket.
Well, then you
Maybe
want to sit right at the
he's-
very back because then air flows down, right?
Right,
he's
but
nuts.
less people sit at the front than at the back.
Yeah. Anyway, the $50 million that this movie has made so far is going to need to go quite a while further, though, because it doesn't even come close to Jujutsu Kaisen, which is sitting at over $160 million worldwide. And it's not even going to come close to the number one film, which is Demon Slayer Mugen Train. Honestly, just a titan in the industry at this point, which pulled in $450 million. I don't think anything's going to beat that for a long time, honestly. Because I think that beat Spirited Away, and nothing beats Spirited Away for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. No, those are big boy numbers.
Yeah, those are heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And Toei's also got another heavy hitter too, just to throw a little sidebar on the end of this. This August, they released One Piece Film Red, and it has officially passed $73 million, which is over 10 billion yen at the Japanese box office. This movie hasn't even released worldwide yet, and it's made $73 million. That's pretty crazy. And then the movie is also going to debut in the rest of the world this fall. So you people in North America will be able to watch it, presumably in sub and dub, I would imagine, because Crunchyroll's putting it out.
Are you planning on going to see it, Mike?
Oh, I will. Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I don't think I can, actually, because I think it spoils some stuff that's current, and I don't know
It
if it'll be
does
current
spoil some
in time.
Wano stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to.
So, yeah.
I'm going to have to catch up.
If you do catch up and you want to go, I would 100% go with you, because I do want to see this film.
Yep. Or go see it by yourself. Honestly, like, I've never understood why people won't go see movies by themselves.
Oh, no, I'm going regardless,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I would love
Jay,
to go
why don't
with
you just go see it by yourself?
I will try to catch up so I can go with you, Jay.
Awesome.
No
I'd
promises.
love to. Cole, you should catch up too, so we can
I was
all
just
go
gonna
together.
say. I was just gonna say. You guys aren't even gonna ask me.
I ask you.
I
yeah.
won't.
Now.
No.
Yeah,
I've heard
because
enough One
I
Piece slander.
I thought of you.
Well,
I
not hard
thought of
enough
you.
because I got some things to say about One Piece, boys. And here we go.
Okay.
Into Jay's Game Corner.
Welcome to the Game Corner.
I will not stand for any One Piece slander. Jay.
You played
Welcome to
that right
Jay's Game
over all
Corner.
of my slander. I had so much slander to throw.
Well, you can throw it against a wall because that's where it'll stick. Welcome to Jay's Game Corner.
Like
we
a
have a
cooked
little bit of
spaghetti
news for
noodle.
you this week, and we're just going to jump right into it with our headliner. Guys, do you know who Masahiro Sakurai is?
Not yet, but I got a feeling I'm about to.
No.
Nope.
Well, Masahiro Sakurai is the director of the Super Smash Bros. Series and also the creator of Kirby. And so he has a very long history with working on Nintendo games and different things like that. And he recently opened a YouTube channel basically going over different topics on game design. So he did one on like frame rate. He did one on the impact of like stopping everything when you're like about to die, to kind of emphasize the impact of it. He's done like his thought process on making the original Kirby and original draft stuff. Basically just like talking about his own thoughts on game design and what is really good, or like what can help young people who want to get into game design to learn his things he's experienced in his career, which is pretty cool. They're like 5-6 minute videos, and he says that he's going to do like a couple of weeks. So definitely go check him out. Very, very, very cool. And if you like gaming and stuff like that, I'd definitely check it out. Even if you're not a Smash fan, it's just cool videos on gaming and making games. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Video games.
video games.
What's them all about?
What's them all about? And how to make them. Very, very cool.
I'm not a gamer, but that sounds interesting. I might watch some of that. I'm assuming it's going to be translated and not just
Yes,
Google,
so
like the YouTube auto-translate.
Yes, so he does have two different channels. He has an English channel, which is basically just like him speaking and then subtitles. And then there's a Japanese version, which is just him talking with no subtitles. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
kind of cool.
yeah.
Kind of like how they do the Pokemon ones, sort of.
Kinda, yeah. Like, if you watched his directs talking about the new characters coming to Smash, it's basically just like that.
Nice.
Yeah. But that started a couple days ago on the 23rd. And has been going for a little bit now. And they're just really short, really cool videos. And if you're interested in game design, want to take a look into that, definitely check them out. Because we have to promote small indie developer Masahiro Sakurai, the creator of Kirby.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he needs our support for sure.
He needs our support. Yeah.
Yeah. You know who else needs our support?
PlayStation?
Yes, Sony.
Yes, agreed. Sony desperately needs your help because they need the extra $20 for a PlayStation 5 because they have been raising the prices of the PlayStation 5 in various countries around the world.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Mike. We needed that. We needed that drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not giving them a penny more because I already have a PS5. Cole, how about you? Are you giving them a penny more?
Not even a nickel, because there's no pennies anymore in Canada.
Oh, right.
And they won't even get an extra loony out of me, because I already have a PlayStation 5. I am elite. Jay?
That's good.
They're not getting a penny out of me for another couple years, because I do... Oh, geez. I do not plan to get a PS5, especially now that they have increased the prices.
Oh, how dare they increase the price by $20.
$20
in this economy?
$600 console.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of backlash about this. And
they basically, just for a quick comment, they said the global economic environment is a challenge that many of us around the world are no doubt experiencing, and they're seeing high global inflation rates as well as adverse currency trends impacting consumers and creating pressure on many industries. Based on these challenging economic conditions, Sony Interactive Entertainment has made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price of PlayStation 5s in selected markets across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, the Asian Pacific, Latin America, as well as Canada. So there won't be a price increase in the US, but the current prices for the PS5 in Europe is $549.99. Is that euros?
It's got to be euro.
Euros.
Yes.
It's got to be euros.
Yeah. Okay.
€549.99 euros for the disc version, and then $449.99 for the digital. For the UK, it'll be $479.99. I believe that's pounds. And then $389.99 for the digital. Japan's will not be changing until September 15th, so you still have a little bit of time if you're in Japan. For all of our Japanese listeners, going up to 60,478 yen for the disc, and 49,478 for the digital, 4,299 yuan for the disc in China, and 3,499 for the digital. Australia is going up to $799.95 Australia dollars for the disc, and $649.95 for the digital. 14,999.
Mexican?
Jay, come on, we don't need to know.
Okay.
Okay, we need to put effective immediately. We're putting in a ban on Jay reading off lists of numbers on the podcast.
You could have added me in the doc. Come on, man.
It's okay. Sorry to derail you.
Yeah, it's okay. You could have stopped me when I started, you know.
Well, it was. I didn't realize you're gonna read every single one.
Well, when I started at the top, what did you think? Anyway, regardless, they are increasing their prices, and yeah, it sucks. On to the mailbag.
Didn't you have one more thing?
Did I? I might have. Yes, I did.
Yes, we really
I derailed myself.
Yeah.
The Game Awards will be streamed live on December 8th, 2022. Just not really huge news, but just getting a date for when we're going to see the Game Awards is really exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I
so
actually
look forward
like
to
the Game Awards. Those are, I don't mind watching that. It's usually pretty fun.
I feel like with that one too, like sometimes the awards almost feel like they don't feel right, and this one it actually seems like the games that win the awards actually deserve them. So I kind of like them too.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's not really like it's an industry-based award. Like we talk about the Crunchyroll Awards, and like they are one company within the industry, so that kind of makes it a little weird.
Yeah.
This is more independent, I guess, eh?
Yeah,
exactly. Now let's go to the mailbag.
Time for the mailbag. Jay, I'm sorry we had to stop you, but we had to stop the madness.
We had
it's
to.
Okay.
There was too many numbers.
No, it's okay.
Like Zach Galifianakis.
We have limited brain capacity, and it was destroying my brain, hearing so many numbers so fast.
It's all right.
Kratos wants to know, with Overlord as the topic for this episode. Good job listening, by the way, Kratos. Coming out with a good mailbag for this specific episode.
He's always ready.
Just the goat of the mailbag, really. Anyway, they want to know, number 1, who is your favorite floor guardian? And can someone refresh me which ones are the floor guardians? Is that like the Shalltear and stuff like that?
Shalltear,
Yeah, that's
Albedo,
like all the-
Demiurge, Cocutus, Mare, and...
Those twins.
The twins, the butler guy that looks like a regular guy.
He's not a floor guardian.
He's not?
He's not a floor guardian. No.
No, yeah,
Oh.
he's one of the butlers or one of the maids.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll go first because mine's going to be super normie here. My best floor guardian is Shalltear, and my best maid is the one that's in the second arc of the show. What's her name? Nabe?
Nabe.
Yeah.
Nabarol Gamma, or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Jay?
Um,
sorry. There was 2 other questions. We just kind of skipped over them. Best girl from Overlord.
Oh.
We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
And the best Pleiades member. The Battle Maids. Who's the best Battle Maid?
Yeah.
So,
I figured
favorite...
we go in order.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, you said your maid.
Yeah, he did say his maid. Anyway.
Sorry, my brain is hurting. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I skipped a total middle question.
I think all of our brains are just kind of mush right now. I get the feeling.
So basically, since we're skipping best girl, you guys just need to give your best guardian of the floors and best battle maid.
Yes. I'm gonna give the most basic of basic answers because that's how I am. Favorite floor guardian is Albedo, and best Pleiades member is same as Mike.
But I don't think is Albedo floor guardian? I thought she was like
she's
okay.
like the commander of the floor guardians.
Yeah, she's the leader of the floor guardians. Yeah.
Okay.
For floor guardian, I'm gonna say Shalltear, like Mike. If we were to include area guardians, I gotta go with my boy Pandora's actor. He's the best.
Oh, he's awesome. That's a great choice.
But he's not a floor guardian, so I can't pick him. Shalltear then. Pleiades member, I'm going to go off the beaten path. I forgot that this wasn't really addressed in the season at all when I suggested this one. But hold on. Lupus, Regina, Beta is the best one.
I think
the
name
wolf
rings
one.
That name rings a bell. Of course, it's the wolf one.
She was the one when they go back to that village at the end of the season. She's there already.
Oh, yes. That's why I recognize it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have a second mailbag here from Dazed Bunny, and they want to know, what is, in your opinion, the most underrated anime that we haven't watched yet? Meaning something that you think people don't hype up enough, even though you haven't watched it. That's a tricky question, actually.
That is a tricky one. I had to scroll through my planning to watch list.
Yeah.
And there is one that I've been meaning to watch for a while, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Kaiba?
Okay.
Kaiba? It's like a sci-fi one. I think it's by Studio... Hold on. Oh no, it's Madhouse. But the director is Masaiki Yuasa.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Yeah. He puts out good stuff.
Yeah. You'd recognize it if you saw it. If you saw it, you'd know which one I'm talking about. I'll go with that one, though. A lot of people don't talk about it, but apparently it is a, quote, masterpiece.
Jay, do you have one, or do you want me to go?
I've been thinking about this, and I think I do have one. Mine would be Crest of the Stars. I recommended this to Cole a little while ago. It's a space opera novel that became an anime, and I've only heard good things about Crest of the Stars. But I haven't seen it. It's done by Sunrise, so Sunrise does Gundam, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so space opera, anime done by Sunrise. I mean, where can you go wrong there?
Maybe I should watch this. Jay, can you send that to me after the thing so I can put it on my watch list?
Sure.
I'm going to put, for mine that I have not watched that I think needs more love, is A Place Further Than the Universe. I know Cole really likes this show, and I know I'm going to like it when I eventually watch it. Also by Studio Madhouse, this is fitting because they also did Overlord Season 1.
Oh, what?
Ooh, how about that?
How about them apples?
Yeah, this show I've heard nothing but good things about, but I haven't found the time to watch it yet because it's not dubbed. And Cole, it's a good show, right?
It's a very good show.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to rewatch it,
And
but
with
I haven't
that,
gotten around to it.
I think we've answered our whole mailbag. Jay, do you have a weekly question this week?
Yeah. Let's go with, if you could identify with any villain in anime, or which anime villain do you most identify with? That was the question.
There you go.
So please
There we
feel
go.
free to answer that question on our Twitter, in our Instagram, or on our Discord.
Or in the YouTube comments.
Or in the YouTube comments. You can do that too.
Or just stand outside my new house and scream it at me.
He likes being screamed at.
He does.
Only nice things, though. Only nice thing.
Yes.
What do you guys say we pause our conversation here, go get some refreshing beverages, and then come back and talk about Overlord?
Let's do it.
I am in agreement.
Okay, let's go on an
Break.
break.
Didn't I tell you, listener? Mike Algone does not know defeat. You aren't facing one supreme being, but three. The might of Anipro stands before you now. Sorry, but you are destined to fail before this battle even started. And welcome to our review of Overlord Season 1. We're going to be talking about the OP/ED, then going into the sound and voice acting, going into the visuals of the show, and then we're going to have some spoiler-free thoughts, and then there will be a spoiler warning for you, listener. And then we're going to talk plot, characters, best boy, best girl, all this kind of stuff you really want to hear. The nitty-gritty of it. Cole, take over this from me, please, for the love of goodness.
Then we will provide our ending thoughts, and of course we will assign a character type to this anime. You know the drill if you've listened to our animes before. We're going to do this a little bit differently though. We're going to try not to go one episode at a time to make this flow a little bit better, and we'll just discuss the arcs of the show. But let's start, as Michael said, with the OP and the ED for Overlord Season 1. What did everyone think of these songs? And
Can I have a
animation?
I'm gonna have a little bit of a hot take here. I feel I don't know your guys' thoughts on it.
Yo,
The OP took a little bit to grow on me. Actually, I've seen
the
nothing
song
but
or
love
the
for the OP for this show. Kind of the whole thing, is it? The song
Okay.
and the music video, I guess is what you'd call it.
Yeah.
I think the first OP is probably the weakest of the four OPs for
Okay.
the show. I like
Like-
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good, but it's not great. You know what I mean? But like the song it definitely does grow on you.
Season 3 slaps.
Season 3
Season
slaps.
4 is really good, actually. Season 1, yeah, it's kind of the weakest one.
Honestly,
to be
I
honest.
prefer it over Season 2's.
Really? I like Season
Yeah.
2's.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like them all, but just personal taste, I think Season 1 is slightly better.
Okay. It might just be like the song, maybe. For my notes here, I wrote kind of generic isekai visuals carried by the song IMO, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is what that means.
Oh,
And then I
thank you.
wrote, and then I also wrote that I like the bright colors. They put the text in like such bright colors. I liked it.
I
Made me
didn't.
happy.
So I'm gonna be a contrarian here. The text was the one thing that like ruined the OP for me.
Oh,
I think like if it was just the music video without the text, it would have been a lot better. It just like felt like it didn't have a place in that in that music video.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, text is important. Text.
Yeah, it just
implementation
didn't feel
is
like-
important in OPs.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like it matched at all.
I don't agree with you, but I think it's probably best we just kind of leave that there. Like I think the show has so many like unique kind of bombastic characters that it kind of fits to have the bright visuals mixed with like the kind of the dark imagery of the show too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly it just feels like that text was slapped over top rather than like integrated into it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense. What about the ED?
The ED was just a slideshow.
I wrote slideshow. At least it zooms and pans quite a bit and has some nice Albedo art on it.
Yeah, that art's really good.
The art,
It was really good.
art for these EDs are really good. The song,
Yep.
for all you Overlord fans, this song is not good. I don't like this song.
I like this song.
I don't like the stream of consciousness lyrics it's got going on. It sounds like a bad rap. I don't like this song. There's better
Myth and
ones.
Royd.
Yeah, it is
I know.
Myth and Royd.
I know.
Yeah.
So are all the OPs and stuff too, though. Like,
No,
it's all
this OP. No, this OP isn't Myth and Royd.
no, but it's the same composer. Myth and Royd is just a composer and one of the singers.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
composer composes all of the OPs and the EDs for this one.
That's
So
your
it's
facto
basically
of the
Myth
day.
and Royd. No, there we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
I actually
but,
wrote "Song is a Bop" Triple L by Myth and Royd, and then I wrote "Pretty good for basically a slideshow ED."
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not like usually I skip the slideshow ones, and this one I was fine with watching Albedo.
Well,
basically,
the slideshow works if the art is like really good.
Yeah.
and there's enough motion and stuff going on that it's not distracting, but it also isn't like boring to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
because of Albedo.
Yeah.
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 And there's like I think some glitchy stuff going on, and kind of I don't know. It just it held my interest more than a normal slideshow one would.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did the sound hold your interest, Michael?
I thought the music was quite good.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well.
I love the dark feel of like basically whenever Ainz is like doing something crazy on screen, it like gets like very not like choir, but like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
choral. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah.
It did a good job.
choir-ish.
It did a really good job of honestly, like if you took any of the songs on their own, none of them are super special. They're probably like basically generic
Yeah.
songs, you know what I mean? In
Yeah.
the soundtrack, but the way they just used them really well. Madhouse did a good job of like
Mixing
kind of
it.
making it to emphasize scenes in the
Yeah.
in the show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bombastic when it needed to be. It was kind of silly and lighthearted when it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like every track really fit the scene really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And then for voice acting, this is where I'm very interested to see if Michael preferred the sub or the dub. Because honestly, the dub voices in this are pretty spot on. Like, the dub for the show is pretty good, except for one notable exception. So,
Am
Mike,
I the
I
only
know
one
that
who
you-
hasn't heard the dub?
I guess so. Yeah.
Probably,
'Cause I-
yeah.
Usually for reviews, what I'll do is I'll watch episode 1 dubbed, then 2 I'll probably flip to the sub, and then 3 I'll kind of like pick which one I'm not sure on, and then watch that one. So this show I watched in sub because I thought the dub sucked.
really?
Yeah, I was not into the dub at all. Actually, for
I
this
like
show.
I liked some of the, like, Albedo's voice actor is really good.
Albedo was
I'll
good, and Ainz Algon was also very good.
Yeah,
Everybody
I'll give
else
him
was
props
kinda
too,
meh.
because
I really-
he had that range that
Yeah.
he needed.
Yeah, I really liked Ainz's sub voice, like his Japanese voice. So like, I hope that it at least matches up to that.
Yeah, he does a good
Similar
job.
but
I-
different. Yeah.
I would almost
Okay.
I'd say it's equal in terms of like quality, because like it just doesn't translate just the way you talk. It's going to sound differently no matter what.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is the same feel. It all is good. He's a good voice actor and everything. The one that really made me stop watching the dub was Clementine when she came in,
Oh, really?
because it is
Oh.
just not good.
Her Japanese voice is like so
It's so
creepy
good.
and
Yeah.
It's
Well, we'll get to that in the plot section. But yeah, that
The-
was. I was actually watching it, and I made my wife watch a little clip. I like flipped between dub and sub on that episode, and then I was like, we just kind of like both looked at each other and we're like, what was that? And then we just continued to watch just in sub.
yeah. I'm that's surprising to me that
Yeah, that's why I was holding it back, because you guys asked me a few times in our Discord. By the way, come to our Discord. Link is in description. That's why I was holding it back, because you were asking me whether I watch this one dub or sub, because I had a feeling that I would be surprising with my choice on that one. I did not expect you to like the dub. Actually, that was the bigger take. What did you? What else did you like about it?
Well, I just remembered the voice acting was pretty good, except for Pandora's actor.
Oh, I didn't hear him dubbed.
Like, the sub is obviously Mamoru Miyano.
Okay.
And he just, like, full send. Like, he just gives it his all. He's the best.
Oh. World item! 世界を変えるラン強大な力力らん方々の偉大さの証ナザリックの最後に眠る秘宝の数々がついに力を振るう時が来たと
But the dub, like, I'll have to show you guys. There's a video, like, comparison between the two. It just doesn't match at all. Like,
World item! Changing the world with immense power! Showing the greatness of...
yeah.
Didn't even try.
No, it's not good. And yeah, the sub voice for him is the best.
Yeah. Did any sub voice actors stand out to you, Jay, in this show?
I mean, Momonga's, I mean, like, it just really fit the character, and I loved the duality of, like, when he's playing the role of Ainzel Gown, and when he's, like, his, actual self. Like, I like the duality of that. Albedo was really good, just like from when she goes to like servant to full on like borderline yandere crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Albedo
for her
was
love
great.
for him.
Yeah.
And like they kind of like Shalltear kind of gets like that too, but yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, they were all good. Clementine was definitely really good. And then also Pandora's actor was like amazing.
Yeah.
I will give props to as well for Shalltear, and just she speaks like her voice patterns are based on like a red light district lady from like the olden
Gyaru?
times.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So she speaks like that.
Like a courtesan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
that's why she kind of speaks very like flowy and stuff. Shalltear stands out to me as well for like the voice acting. Yeah.
I actually thought she kind of actually stole the show a little bit from Albedo. A little bit.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can understand that take.
Yeah. And I think that's basically all there is to the voice acting at this point. I just wrote that Shalltear, Albedo, Clementine stood out in the sub, and then Clementine for bad reasons in the dub.
Yeah. I remember watching the dub when I first watched the show, and I thought it was serviceable, but maybe I didn't have the...
I would say it's serviceable. It's just like mainly the background characters and like the characters aren't going to last very long in this show. Mm-hmm. They kind of, you can tell they just got like, hey, somebody walking by, can you come here and quickly record a line for this? And like, you can tell. Just
like guy on the street, like, hey, we need a line for our show. Oh, what show is it? Don't worry about it. Just say it.
It's kind of going to be a running theme for my little review here that I think this show suffered from, I don't think they thought it was going to be a hit when they made it, so I don't think they gave it as big of a budget as it needed.
Yeah, I think
kind of shows in the visuals too.
We're kind of going into the visuals here, yeah. I think that's kind of one of the charms of the show, though, is that the CGI in it is so atrociously ugly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that stood out. That was the first thing I wrote in the visual section is CGI janky.
It never gets better.
Oh, no, because the next thing I wrote was... The next thing I wrote was hoping it gets better with later seasons because of budget and technology improving. Oh no. No, it doesn't. So you just gotta let that roll over you.
This is why Madhouse never does more than one season.
Was it? Did Madhouse do the follow-ups or no?
Yeah.
They're still doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like Madhouse is like one show that they lean back on now.
Yeah, this show is definitely carried by like good world building and cool story.
Yeah.
Visually, it's pretty
whatever.
Yeah.
That's the one part. That's why I kind of felt like the budget was low or something, because it's just like there's so many things where it just feels like they could do so much more with this, but they just didn't. The one thing I did like is it also seemed like Madhouse knew what they were doing when they were actually like drawing it all up. They just didn't have enough time or whatever to actually animate it. Because like when you look at like the setting and stuff and like all the characters look great. they all look good. They all are like interesting character designs and stuff. The way they use like light and the sky and sunsets and stuff like that, and all the lighting and all that looks really good. And it like,
and I mean, the art in the light novel is like phenomenal. Like if you look at the light novel art, like holy. So like they really had great art and character design to work with. So that really doesn't surprise me. But like I'm wondering if, because Madhouse also did season 1 of One Punch Man and season 1 of Overlord came out the same year. I'm wondering if like they had a B team work on this while
could be.
The main Madhouse guys were working on One Punch Man.
Yeah,
that could be it.
The big boys were working on One Punch Man.
Yeah, because One Punch Man came out like right after the season that this aired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I mean the CGI is noticeable for sure.
Yeah, that dragon in the second half was particularly. The dragon.
You mean the two dragons?
Yeah.
The skeletal dragons.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When I was watching
no
that,
spoilers,
I was
Jake.
like, this is like the Overlord equivalent of Kaiba summoning his 2 or his 3 blue eyes white dragons.
Yeah, it totally was.
Yeah.
You like one dragon? Well, how about 2? Yeah. There's so many good moments. Honestly, like the CG was janky, but like I didn't hate it at the same time. Like, you're right. It is kind of like charming in a weird way.
It is a little charming.
That's
like
kind
a really
of like
weird way. Yeah.
It's thing. Like Overlord has bad CG.
Yeah.
For
and
like zombies
like
and skeletons and stuff. Yeah.
It seems like they don't even try sometimes too, because they'll put like the Death Knight right next to Ainzao Gon, and it's like. You can tell that's CG. You can tell it's not as good.
Yeah.
Why is it right next to this like well-drawn character?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure. For character designs, I guess too. Like we can go into them. Like everybody looks good. Everybody looks cool. You know.
They have a cool character design. They look good. Yeah. And they're moving. But
which I think like the like cool character design was like the point.
Yeah. They're all like made by. You got to remember all these NPCs, all of the floor guardians and stuff were all created by essentially people like
gamers.
Us.
Yeah, gamers.
Weebs.
Yeah. So that's they all look cool.
Yeah.
Spoiler-free thoughts?
Yeah. I guess I'll go first. Basically, I think this is a really cool take on an isekai as a genre. Like if you're sick of isekai, which is kind of I think why this show maybe didn't get enough love when it came out, because people were so sick of isekai at the time. This show actually does isekai well. It takes all the things that people don't like about isekai and actually does it in a good way. Like there's a reason for this isekai world. There's a reason he was isekai. It all makes sense. It all flows. It doesn't do a lot of it does a good job of showing you and not telling you and stuff like that. All the characters are super memorable. Watch this show if you want just like kind of a fun, I want to say like goofy, but that's maybe the wrong word. It's just a fun romp through like an isekai world with like an interesting cast of characters. That's what this show really is about.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely carried by memorable, fun characters.
There's a reason it's not a 10 out of 10 though. It's
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
Jasif?
So I did enjoy the show, and I think Mikey basically covered it. Like it's a great it's a great take on isekai that sets itself apart. It's not like overpowered character gets reincarnated and then all the women fall over him and like he gets to live out his isekai fantasy bro and everything is good. Like I mean there is more intrigue to it, and like the world building's great. The idea of him like without spoiling it, like something goes on with like his personality that I found really interesting.
Yeah.
And like the intrigue of how that carries over to future seasons really interested me. And just like the world itself, the fact that like they actually like go out and explore the world to like learn about it was really interesting. So like they're really like making an effort to tell you like, yeah, we want you to learn about this world rather than it just being like something that the author lazily crafted up. It really showed that there was a lot of care put into it and a lot of heart put into it. And so I really liked it.
Yeah, it's easy to establish how can I phrase this? It's easy to do...
To believe it?
It's easy to
Naruto?
have those things like communicated to you when it's being communicated to the characters as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, absolutely. Yeah.
Because they're in the same situation. They don't know exactly what's going on either.
Yeah. And that's really why isekai is such an easy way to write fantasies, is because, like, they're learning about the world when you are. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also echoing off of what you guys said. It's a good show, good characters. Everybody is... I don't want to get into it before spoilers and stuff. But
Maybe the easier way to go about this is, would you guys recommend this show, and who would you recommend it to?
I would, and anyone.
So you'd say, if you like anime, watch this show?
I really enjoy Overlord. Yeah. I
agree.
yeah.
I think if you like fantasy, you're really going to like Overlord. If you like isekai, you're really going to like Overlord. If you like interesting takes on maybe questionable morals, you're going to like Overlord.
If you like dark and gritty, you're going to like Overlord.
Yeah.
If you like dark and gritty, you're going to like Overlord, probably.
Yeah. If you like good world building, you're going to like Overlord.
There's just enough fan service that actually makes sense, too. So like, it's kind of... And it's done tastefully, and it doesn't feel sleazy, which I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. There was never a point where, like, I thought, like, okay, this is too much fan service.
Yeah. Everything in this show just kind of makes sense and just works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like Jay said, there's a lot of care put into it. So yeah, big recommendation from me. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you guys also recommend it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And here I thought I'd be the only one who liked it.
No, like, I wouldn't say I'd recommend it to everyone, because there are going to be people that don't like it if their thing is, like, they like cheesy romance or romantic comedies or things like that. But if you like action, world building, or fantasy, isekai, any of those kind of things, or like dark stories or interesting, like, I don't want to say psychological, but like on the like border of psychological.
Yeah.
If you get where I'm going.
I do, yeah.
Then like, I think that this would pique your interest.
I think maybe the easiest way to say it is, watch this. If you think you're not going to like this show just because it's another isekai, it's worth it. It's not just another isekai. It's actually well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say,
There's a reason
boys?
why there's been four seasons of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoilers? Spoilies?
Let's go to the spoilies.
Spoily time. This just in. It's spoiler time. So like I said, we're going to go through the plot. We'll go through through the arcs. And there are 3 primary arcs. The first being the Undead King arc, which is basically our introduction into the new world. Momonga, our main character, he is just a regular salaryman who plays this MMORPG called Yggdrasil?
Yggdrasil, yeah.
Yggdrasil. And the game's about to be shut down, so he's just hanging out in his guild base for the last time. And then as it shuts down, he gets transported to this new world along with the base and all of the NPCs who are in the base, who were designed by him and his compadres, his friends.
His guild mates.
Yeah, so this start is just kind of, okay, we need to understand the situation that we're in. We need to figure out what the power level is in this area. Spoiler alert, it's very low. Everyone is weak.
Yeah.
Everyone is an ant.
Yeah.
And our main characters are very strong.
All of them are super strong. Yeah, they're all level 100. They're maxed out in Yggdrasil. And then I think, based on some of the things that I've read, like the highest power level is like maybe a 50 of anyone in the new world.
Yeah.
So they're OP.
They're busted. Please nerf.
I liked in this show how they tackled he's hanging out in the MMO until the servers shut down, because that's something that does actually happen in real life too. Like back in the day when like Halo 2 shut down, people were basically keeping the servers. They wouldn't shut off the servers until like the last person logged out. So they just like people stayed in the servers and it just stayed up for like an extra several hours or whatever. So that's definitely something that actually happens, and I don't know, it resonates.
Yeah, it definitely felt like, at least in a few areas, where like the person who wrote it actually knows stuff about gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I remember in like various fights, like before they start fighting, they'll just cast buffs on themselves.
Yeah.
Which
That was
like is
cool.
something you actually do in an MMO.
Yeah. There's like in a later episode, there's actually like a scene where he's casting like 17 different buffs before he goes to fight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's totally something that you actually do, and they
I
never
was thinking
actually
the
show
same
that.
thing.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
So yeah, all of the NPCs are basically, they all have pledged their loyalty to Momonga because he was the only one of the original guild members who stayed with them.
Mm-hmm.
They all had quit well beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really of note happens in this arc until Momonga's like watching these people on like a magic mirror, basically. And that this village is getting attacked, and he chooses to like go to the village and like
Save it.
rescue them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get our first sense of like how much stronger he is, and how like everything he does is just like god level compared to these plebeian village folk.
Yeah.
And that's like
that
the best part of the show, in my opinion, is just like how you're like, he comes in and you already know he's gonna wreck house.
Yeah.
No,
It's
the
like
best
they're
is
kind
like
of-
They
they
give it
set
a
up-
little bit of like a One Punch Man
a little bit.
aspect to it.
They set up this like crystal that the one bad wizard has, and he's like, this is our trump card, we won't use this unless we absolutely have to. And he's like, I've deemed you necessary to use this, our ultimate super weapon. And he unleashes this gigantic like angelic thing, and Momonga's like, oh my god, I can't believe you guys, like, we set up this whole thing for this. This is laughable how weak this thing is.
Yeah.
And then he just like one-shots it with like this little spell.
It was black hole or something, right?
Yeah, it was a black hole. And
yeah.
I loved how inconsequential the black hole was. It just like appears, sucks it up, and it's gone.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's just like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah, so that's basically what it's all about. We just learn about Ainz as well, and how Momonga. Well, at this point, he does change his name to Ainz, which is
because
the guild was called
to see if there's
Ainz
anyone
Ulgon.
anyone else from Yggdrasil who is in this world.
Yeah, the guild
knows
was
name.
called Ainz Ulgon, so he decided to take that name so that when he spreads his name around, everybody knows, or anybody from the game would say, oh, I know them.
Yeah.
And then they would come and find him.
Yeah.
So he changes his name to Ainz Ulgon. I forget where I was going with that.
I'm not sure either.
No,
But
Changes their
honestly,
name.
the first 4 episodes were basically just setting up the world, setting up him, setting up the characters, just all set up. And then like
introductory exposition, really.
Yeah, and then also kind of showing, oh wait, these guys are way stronger than everybody else around. And also he's a bad guy who's also a good guy at the same time. And that's kind of like a little conflict that's happening. That was something I liked too.
That was the other thing I was going to say. The NPCs view Ainz as having like, he is incapable of doing anything wrong.
Yeah, he's their god basically.
And that really plays with Ainz, who is like kind of self-conscious and is constantly second guessing himself, even though low-key he's like super smart as well and just as capable as anyone else.
Yeah.
But sometimes he does feel like he's just winging it a little bit, and then
well,
everyone's
sure. I mean,
like
but
remember when
would.
they're walking through the graveyard and what's her name like asks him a question? He's like, well, if I give you all the answers, then you're never gonna learn.
Yeah, you're gonna have to figure this out for yourself.
Yeah.
And like what's the dude that's in the Floor Guardians who's like a dark elf or
Demiurge.
something. Yeah, because like sometimes he's like, he asks him, oh no, I think it might be his butler. He asks him what he's planning, and he's like, I wouldn't even bother to tell you because you're already 12 steps ahead of me. And he's like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, but why don't you tell everyone else just for the sake of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's just,
I like that. And then it'll cut to his internal dialogue, and he'll always be like, "What?" That's the major part of this is he like just absentmindedly says like, it would be nice to take over this world, and then Demiurge is like, done. We're gonna take over this world.
We're gonna take over
like,
this world. Yeah, not even a question. Yeah. Demiurge is low-key pretty good, too.
Demiurge is great. He's the one who's, like, most guilty of, like, having that overconfidence in Ainz.
Yeah.
Like he's
Overhyping
constantly
him?
like, he's constantly like, well, Lord Ainz knows exactly what to do. And he's like, yes, I do, of course. Why don't you tell everyone what my grand plan is? I give you permission.
Yeah. Who would you say is the most critical of Ainz, then? Probably, I want to say Big Bug Guy.
No.
Well, I mean, if we want to get
programmed
into...
to be like a samurai, like very loyal?
He's very, like, straight up, I would say.
The one, like, if we want to get into, I guess, a little bit of spoilers going forward, the one who's most critical of him is actually...
Albedo?
No. Pandora's actor.
Oh, really?
He's programmed to, like, kind of second guess what Ainz does. And, like, he'll provide a bit more criticism. Not, like, in a bad way.
Yeah.
But, like...
Which is funny because
the same way that Ainz does.
He's the one that was programmed by Ainz, right?
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Should we move into the next arc? Oh, one thing I want to quickly mention here that I feel like we should mention is when before it actually transitions, he's like transitions to this new world. He's like looking through all his character or his like NPCs settings and stuff. And then the classic scene, he rewrites, he sees in Albedo's description that she's a quote,
Yeah.
But so there's an interest, and then he rewrites it to say she loves
Momonga.
Because basically he's like, that thing's gonna die. It's all gonna end right away. This is just a joke to my buddy because he programmed this character. I'm gonna make his character love me as a joke. And then it switches over, and she loves him, and he's like, oh god, what have I done?
Yeah.
He feels so guilty about it.
Yeah, I like when like she's like all over him, and he's like, look, I changed your programming. The reason you love me is because I made you that way. And she's like, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
But like, I love the guilt. I agree.
It's nice. And then, it's good. But
anyways, the Dark Warrior arc is the next one where Ainz, or at this point, Ainz Ulgon, goes into the town undercover as an adventurer with one of the Pleiades battle maids, Nabarl Gama. Your guys' favorite one.
Nabe.
Yes, they go under the name Momon and Nabe. And again, even though Ainz is like a spellcaster and incapable of using swords, if he puts on this like enchanted armor, he can wield swords. And even then, he's still like outrageously strong.
Yeah.
So they're on their first mission is to escort Lil Boy with the bangs. I can't remember what his name is.
Oh, it starts with the P, I think. I'll look it up while you talk.
Oh, it's like Neferia or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And they recruit another team of adventurers to basically help out just because Ainz knows, like, okay, I'm strong, but, like, we need more people. We need, like, someone who can, like, we need a ranger. We need, like, a druid who can, like, control.
So what happened? Well, what happened is, like, he signed up to be an adventurer to kind of, like, spread his name around. And he couldn't read the any of like the job postings because it's all in this like foreign text
language,
so he just goes up to the thing and he's like, I'll take this, and they're like, oh, that quest is way too high for you. And this party comes up to him and says like, hey, if there's no quests for you to take, why don't you just go monster hunting with us? And then the bangs guy comes up and says, Neferia comes up or says, like, I specifically requested you to do the quest for me, or to, like, take on a request. So, and he's like, well, I'm already doing something with them, so why don't you tell me what you're doing, and then I'll decide whether I want to help you or go with them. And then he just kind of, like, lets them come with because he didn't want to just abandon them.
Yeah, because he kind of felt bad because he was he basically was like, well, that's kind of a better quest, and then like, I don't really want to ditch you guys, and they're like, no, we'll totally go with you.
Yeah. So the village that they're escorting Neferia to just happens to be the village that Ainz just saved in the last arc.
No way.
What a coincidence.
What a small world.
Yeah.
So they all go there, and again, Ainz shows how strong he is compared to everyone else. Like, he one hits a bunch of trolls and stuff, and they're all like, oh my god,
how is he able to do that?
Yeah.
And we get a battle between Ainz and the what do they call him?
The king of the forest.
The king of the forest.
Oh yeah. Well, what was the big hamster's name?
Hamsuke
or something.
Hamsuke or something like that.
Hamanosuke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he battles in quotation marks this king of the forest who's like a mythically strong beast, and all he does is like use that aura, like his intimidating aura on him.
Yeah, like level
and
1.
He just like gives up. He's just like, I can't fight you. You win. So now they got a big hamster boy. So after they Hamsuke.
Yeah.
After they help out Nefiria, they head back into town, and there's someone waiting for them in town who's come to kidnap Nefiria for various reasons. Anyone? Clementine comes to kidnap Nefiria.
She shows up at the pharmacy, right? When he goes with the rest of the adventurers. I think Momonga just like says like, you guys go on ahead.
I think they'd set up Clementine a little bit before this too, right? Like they'd kind of shown that she's crazy and just likes killing people and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And there's some plan behind the scenes that's going on.
And then she's got this item that nobody can wear, and then she hears that this pharmacist, Nefiria or whatever, has the ability, because there's this thing called skill, some kind of skill thing where he has that he can wear, he can use any magical item. So he's probably the only person in the world who can wear this item that they want him to wear. And what the item does is it generates a giant horde of undead skeletons, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, they're lying in wait. Don't go ahead, Cole.
Yeah, so Clementine comes to kidnap Nefiria, but not only does she kidnap him, she slaughters the other adventurers.
Brutally.
Yeah. Like, tortures them and everything. And, like, when Ainz comes and discovers the whole scene, he's even like, this is, what does he say?
Messed up.
Untasteful or something.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Like, he's
I
like,
loved
this is
how
screwed up.
Yeah, I loved how... it doesn't hold back. Like you see, like he goes up to the girl adventurer. One of them, spoilers, turns out to be a girl. And like one of her eyes is like gouged out, and like.
Well, they said something earlier in the thing that their ability was something about their tears are super powerful. So they showed the eye was gouged out, and there was a bunch of tears running down from the eyes on her face, and it was like, oh man, that is brutal.
That was so brutal. And then like everyone else in the party was like became an undead, so he had to kill them all.
He didn't even hesitate though.
He didn't. He just went for it.
Heads off.
Yeah.
Because again, Ainz, now that he's in the body of this undead, he has. What do they call it? Emotional dampening or something like that.
Yeah.
Where like
so he's
starting to think like an undead, so he really has no issues with killing people.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with the psychological thing from the spoiler-free portion. Like whenever he like feels an intense emotion come on, his emotional dampening will activate, and it'll just like he'll go right back to like neutral calm.
Yeah, and you literally see it activate because it's like this green like aura that kind of covers him, and then he just goes back to being like calm, cool overlord.
Collected,
yeah. That being said, Ainz isn't like totally evil. He won't just like kill people for fun.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I should specify that. Like he's definitely evil, but he's not like chaotic evil. He's like
he's like evil? Lawful evil almost.
Yeah, like he's got more of like a methodic aspect to his
he's not like sadistic.
He's honestly like just true neutral, I would say. Like just if it serves him to kill somebody, he will, but if he doesn't have a reason he won't.
He even says to Clementine in that fight, like if the situation went in a certain way, I probably would have done the same thing.
This is actually a good point in the conversation for me to drop something that I thought was really cool about this show. Watching this show, I was like watching it and thinking, man, this all just feels like D&D a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you like D&D, there's a lot of like classic character tropes, and like it really just feels like a D&D campaign.
Yeah,
apparently
I think that
the author was actually, Jay almost stole my fact from me there. Apparently the author actually wrote this while he was waiting because his campaign was like dying and was having a hard time getting his friends together to actually come over and play D&D. So he wrote this story. So it is.
I almost stole your thunder. I'm sorry.
The whole concept of Ainz being an overlord, he's not an overlord in the sense that he's like the lord who rules these people. That's his like class.
Yeah.
He's an undead
he's a Lich King.
overlord. Yeah. Which is
really neat.
Like you can open up the D&D manual and like that's in there.
It's in there. Yeah.
There's
a lot of Easter eggs like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so they find out where they're keeping Neferia to go and rescue him because that's still his job. No, his grandma hired him.
Yes,
grandma. Yes. Remember, because the grandma,
she begs him to like go rescue her grandson. And he's like, "Give me everything."
Yeah, it'll cost you.
She gets angry and she eventually like says, "Okay, I'll give you everything. Just go save my grandson."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, goes to show like he's not doing this because he's being nice. Like he's doing it because he has something to gain out of it.
And they even showed it early on, like when he rescued the village initially, like he just said like it starts off with him saying like, "I rescued you," and then there's a pause, and then he's like, "For a price."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he says in that part there that basically he figures out that if he just does things out of the goodness of his own heart, people almost don't trust him. But as soon as
people will be skeptical.
As soon as he comes off a little more evil, a little more like realistic, then they're like, "Oh, okay, I get it now."
Yeah.
So they find Neferia with Clementine and this other like evil wizard dude, and Momon is like, "Okay, Nabe, you take care of the wizard guy. I'm gonna take care of." Go ahead.
Yeah, he's like, take care of the wizard guy. Also, be careful of above you. I'm gonna go deal with Clementine.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go deal with Clementine. And at this point, they're kind of like nerfing themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
They're just toying with them.
Yeah, don't use any magic that's like above tier 4 or tier 3 or something like that, which is like as high as anyone can cast.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to stay under the cover, kind of.
Yeah,
a little bit.
So the evil wizard guy summons this blue eyes white dragon.
No, it's
the skeletal dragon.
Undead dragon.
And the skeletal dragon is immune to magic lightning attacks. And unfortunately, Nabe, that's her speciality. That is her thing. So she just decides, well, I'm just going to beat the crap out of this dragon, which is kind of a cool scene.
Kind of does. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So she just like straps the sheath to her sword and just like starts wailing on it. Yeah. Unfortunately, she can't beat it.
Yeah.
But the the fight's kind of going her way, but then the wizard like summons his second blue eyes white dragon.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Ainz and Clementine are just kind of having a fight.
Fighting. Yeah.
Having a bit of a fight, and Ainz is like, "I'm not going to fight you seriously." And that's kind of his thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So at a certain point, Ainz sees the dragons and he's like, "Oh, is that why you said, or is that why she can't win?" And Clementine's like, "Yeah, they're immune to magic. So like she's doomed to lose and you're going to lose here and I'm going to kill you and all of that." So then Ainz just yells like, "Show them the power of Nazarick," or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Show them the true might of Nazarick or something like that.
So then
she's all like, "Oh, heck yeah."
Yeah, Nabe just like turns into full on like magical girl transformation.
Yeah, except into like a demon creature,
like battle maid. Yeah.
And it turns out that these dragons are only immune to magic up to like tier 4.
Yeah,
and
I think it was 7 or something.
It was 7 because like humans can't use tier 7 or above. Yeah,
but she can.
Yeah, so like she does like tier 9 or something like that.
Yeah, and just wipes these dragons.
Yeah, and they all turn to dust.
Yeah,
she even it even opens where like she teleports behind the old wizard, stabs him, and he's like, "Oh, I see. So this is your trump card." And she's like, "No, I was just toying with you the whole time.
I just wanted to show you that I can kill you at any time."
Yeah.
So then Ainz at that same time just like drops a sword and just like assumes T pose.
Yeah.
Just absolute alpha, and lets Clementine attack him. So she goes right for his face. Right for the
chink in the armor.
Because I don't think you mentioned, but he's still in his he's disguised
Momon
himself
armor.
as the Momon armor, which is where he's just like basically a swordsman. She doesn't know that he's a spellcaster at this point.
Yeah. So then she attacks him, sticks the swords in his face, and then he reveals like, "Okay, I'm actually not this guy. I am an undead overlord."
Undead Lich, I think it was.
Well, that's what she says, and he's like, basically, that's basically what I am.
Yeah.
And then he crushes her to death.
Yeah, that was brutal.
That was a brutal scene. And then he's like, basically like, this is going to hurt a lot. I'm going to crush you. It doesn't matter whether I die, you die by me crushing you, by me using a spell on you, by me cutting your head off. It doesn't matter because in the end, you're still going to be dead.
Well,
and
didn't
it's going
he
to hurt
even
a
say,
lot because
didn't
you
even
hurt my
say,
friends,
like,
basically.
Yeah, didn't he? Well, didn't he even say like, like I don't like you're not even worth me using magic on you?
No, it was that he was going to kill her with the dagger that party had.
Yeah.
Right.
And he said, if you were any weaker, I would have just used this.
Yeah.
But then he says, what difference does it make whether I stab you or crush you? Death by broken bones or death by ruptured organs, what difference does it make?
That was brutal. That was
like before she even dies, like you see the blood come down her eyes, like through.
Well, that's because she was like smashing her face into him.
Yeah,
she's
to
trapped.
Try and
She's
get
holding
away.
her against. He's holding her against him, and she's like. Then you could just see on her face. She's like, "Oh no, I've messed up."
Yeah,
and then she
very
did mess
satisfying.
up.
Very satisfying. Overlord's good at that, like establishing this like super evil character, and then Ainz comes and just like. So cathartic.
I listened to a review by Mother's Basement on this, and he basically, exactly what you said. They do a good job in this show because normally you'd be like, oh, here we go. Ainz is going to just be a big badass again, and he's going to win. But because they set up the villains to be so hateable, and like you want them to get defeated so badly, that like you're like sitting there, you're like, oh, just you wait, you wait. He's going to get you, and then when he dies, you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Even though realistically you should be kind of bored with it because you already know he's going to win, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat way they did it.
But it's more
the
like
same thing as like One Punch Man, like Jay said. Yeah.
It's just like One Punch Man.
Yeah.
But there's one more arc, the last one. And I kind of like how they set this one up. It was like a post-credit scene at the end of this Dark Warrior arc.
Yeah, like they're in that temple in the
in the middle of this whole arc, he like gets a communication from one of the people over at Nazarick, and he's like, "Not now. I'll deal with whatever you have to say later."
Yeah.
So then
and
at
they're
the end
like
of this arc,
contact Albedo when you have a second.
Yeah, at the end of the arc, he contacts Albedo, and he's like, "Okay, what's going on?" And she's like, out of nowhere, Shalltear Bloodfallen has turned against us. End of episode.
It's like, what?
Such a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were watching this weekly.
Yeah. We should
crazy.
note that Shalltear is the strongest of the Floor Guardians as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that gets like established. Like nobody else would be able to beat her one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In physical combat or something, I think they say.
Yeah, like she's just she's balanced for specifically combat.
Yeah.
So they go and they investigate everything, and somehow no. Then we go back. It's a flashback to we have Sebas, the butler, one of the battle maids, Shalltear, and then her like undead brides are all on like this mission. I'm not really sure what the whole point of the mission was.
Yeah, it was kind of. I think it was just they were trying to. Basically, is I think a continuation of his original plan of like going and figuring out what's going on in this new world.
Probably.
Yeah.
That seems like the overarching plot is trying to figure out what's going on.
They get ambushed on the road in this carriage, and of course that ambush ends about as well as you'd think it would, with the Nazarick people. Well, honestly, it was just Shalltear who slaughtered everyone. And then she has this class penalty called blood frenzy, something like that, where she just loses her mind. She gets super strong and loses her mind.
Yeah, and she turns into that like crazy vampire mode, right?
Yeah. So over the course of this, she kind of revs herself up more and more, and then she comes up against like this party of good guys. I'll put in quotation marks because they're the bad guys. And somehow they have some kind of world item that
like brainwashes her.
Her.
Like he says, it was able to mind control her.
Yeah. And it's unusual because as an undead vampire, she should have a
immunity
resistance to mind control.
Yeah.
But it turns out like it's just such a strong mind control, right? From that world level item.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, because they explain that the world level items are items that are capable of altering the world itself.
Yeah. And they're items from the game.
Yeah.
So she is being brainwashed in this field. So they go and they find her, and he tries to use an item that grants any wish. I'm not really sure how that would work in the game, but whatever.
Yeah.
So he tries to just like reverse all of her. What was the term?
It should basically cure status abnormalities. Is what like
status
the gaming
ailments.
term would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he tried to do that, but it didn't work. So then he's like, oh shit, let's get
This
out
must
of
be
here.
something big. Yeah.
So then they figure out that she was brainwashed, but they had to, whoever brainwashed her had to run away. So she's just been standing there without any like orders.
Mm-hmm.
So she just stands there. So they figure out that if she won't do anything unless she's attacked. But
Yeah,
she's
that was like the
too
only order she had, right? Was attack whoever attacks you.
Yeah.
and she's far too strong to just like leave there.
Yeah.
So Ainz goes to the vault and picks up all of these other world items that he's going to use, that he needs to fight Shalltear. Again, it goes to show how strong she is. And we meet the best character in the whole show.
Yeah.
Pandora's actor.
And I think he says too that, sorry, I'm just going to quickly interrupt.
Go for it.
He basically says like, listen, I have to go fight Shalltear. I'm going to do it by myself. She's so strong that I might not win this one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Albedo kind of brings up the point. He's like, or she's like, why don't we all just attack her? Because like, if all of us attack her, we can beat her. And he kind of comes up with like this excuse about how he has to do it, but in his head he thinks, because he doesn't want to watch these creations of his friends kill each other.
Yeah.
Right? So that's also partially why he has to go do it himself.
I saw a thing that in the light novel it explains that he sees the level guardians and the maids and stuff as basically the children of his friends. So that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of how I saw it too. Like
kind of the
just
relationship that they have.
Because all of the floor guardians kind of retain a bit of the personality traits of their creators as well.
Yeah.
So he views them as similar to his friends as well.
Yeah.
So we're going out and Ainz is going to fight Shalltear. And this is the part where Michael mentioned he's just buffing himself up. Like it's honestly like a 2-minute scene where he's just like casting stuff
like
on
a
himself.
bunch of buffs on himself to get ready for this fight.
He's just doing what you do in video games where you stand just outside of like the range and just like cast a bunch of buffs and take a bunch of potions and stuff.
And then he goes
in.
Yeah, then he goes in with like a super tier magic spell.
Like
he
just blows
the
up the whole
strongest
area.
thing. Yeah.
And it just like creates a giant crater in the field, and it does nothing to her.
Well, it hurts her.
Yeah, but
it
like
hurts her.
Realistically, like she just like regenerated from it, and she was fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they fight a bit, obviously.
Yeah.
And through the fight, he does kill her at one point, but she has that item that brings her back to life.
Yes.
Yeah. So he has to basically win twice. And
which is like a video game,
which feels like a video game thing.
Yeah,
right?
it feels like that one time Jay kept playing that boss battle over and over and over again.
And she has that lance too, the pipette lance that can suck health from him, which is that felt like a video game thing too.
If she hits with an attack, she gains back the HP. It felt like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, exactly.
And they fight a bit, and then in the end,
Ainz wins.
Yeah. This is one thing that I found weird, though. He basically says, I knew this is how this would go in the end because you're going to basically use up all your abilities at the beginning and then I'll win. But I felt like that kind of conflicted a little bit with up to this point, he's been kind of a bit, I don't want to say bumbling, but like he's kind of acted like he knew what he was doing, but when he really didn't. But then
that's the thing.
This one,
that's the thing with Ainz is that he thinks that he's bumbling around, but he's actually
pretty capable.
Really
he's
capable.
He's very calculating. And don't forget, like he was one of the best players at this game.
Well, he was the guild, like he was the leader. He was
the guild leader, and again, like this is all like backward world building stuff. But Ainz Gon, the guild was like the 11th strongest guild in the game.
No, he's actually pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
But he also explains too that the reason he was able to predict what she was doing is because he's actually, of all the floor guardians, the most familiar with her.
Yeah, after
he beats her,
yeah.
He also told her like if you weren't, or if you were more cautious, I probably would have had a harder time beating you.
Yeah.
I would have lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have lost.
He said if you just opened with that, I don't even remember what it was called, that like weird doppelganger thing that she sends out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If she would have just opened with that, he would have lost.
He would have lost.
But he knew that she's like kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. He read her like a book, actually. Like, he did what you'd expect the Overlord to do, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it also like we were saying, it makes sense because he knew he was friends with the people who literally created them.
Yeah.
So like
exactly.
he knows them in and out.
Yeah. So to wrap up the plot, we go back to Nazarick, and part of this is to see if he can revive people.
Yeah, because he's not sure at this point, right?
Yeah, it turns out he can.
Yeah.
He needs a lot of gold.
How much gold does it take, Jay?
Enough. He had enough.
He had a lot of gold.
It's a lot. It's like
He had a lot of
500
gold in
million
the
or
vault.
something.
Yeah, it was a lot of gold.
There's literal piles of it.
So how much was it, Cole?
600 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that'll be my final answer. So they're able to revive her, and all's well that ends well. She doesn't remember anything though about who brainwashed her. So the mystery's still out on who has this item.
And there's kind of like a little scene that shows maybe like a little teaser for the next season with there's some basically like men sitting in a room talking about how someone managed to defeat her and no one should be able to defeat her. I haven't seen further, so I don't know if that actually is setting up stuff or not.
Oh, yeah, the like priests from the slain theocracy who were talking about what happened. Yeah. Yeah, that's setting stuff up. That's kind of introducing you to the other powers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're done the plot.
Oh, I was just going to say.
Okay, go ahead.
It was for the total amount to revive Shalltear. It cost 500 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
nailed it. We also forgot two important pieces of the plot in this last episode.
Yeah.
When Shalltear is revived, she is missing her boob padding because she actually asks,
"Yes,
where have my breasts gone?"
Yes.
Oh, I just interpreted that as her saying that to be like
funny.
Oh no, my breasts are gone. No. You screwed up the.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a funny scene, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm naked. Usually they're so much bigger." Because like there's a big joke in the whole thing where everyone's like, "You pad your chest, you fool."
Yeah. Like even there was a guy that went up to her and was like, "You're pretty well endowed," and she's like, "You don't touch me."
Oh no. Bad things happen to that guy.
I thought that was one of the best parts of the show, though, was the little how the floor guardians interact with each other. Mm-hmm. Like how Albedo and Shalltear kind of like have like this little rivalry to try to basically secure the love of Ainz and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I guess this is kind of like a bit of a transition into the characters part. But,
I like how they were having that fight about like who was going to marry Ainz, and then they both just agreed like, well, we'll both marry him.
Yeah.
Now we're going to discuss who will be the head wife.
Yeah, and then Ainz at the same time is kind of like, I am undead now, so I have no desire to marry or anything.
Yeah. Or he to also produce an heir.
He also had like absolutely no experience with a girl in his previous life, so like there was no chance for either of them.
He was a loser, like me,
like us.
Yeah. I kind of think, honestly, this show, the characters is where it really shines. Like, that's really what you're watching this show for at the end of the day.
Yeah, the dynamics between the characters and all of that.
Mm-hmm. They set up enough characters in this show for, like, you could go 50 episodes and not run out of... And I guess they do, because there's 4 seasons out right now, right? But you could go a long way with just the characters they set up here and not introduce new people, and you wouldn't get bored. And they're all, like, interesting and unique, which is great.
And, like, it's like Overlord's not even done. Like I doubt we're gonna get to the end after season 4 because the novel's not done.
Yeah,
So there's still more to come.
Spoiler alert for season 4: there's a new character from Nazarick that's being introduced next week.
Oh, interesting!
Like another new, like they cut this character out prior to this that's coming in.
So that's kind of cool.
Like, it's there's lots of characters in the show, and that's really what. Like, it's an ensemble cast. Like, Ainz is, of course, the main character. We get his views internally. But all of these characters make up a great cast, And
kind of their motivations and stuff all make sense, too. Like, they're pretty simple when you really get down to it, but like it's because they're NPCs that came to
They're
life,
tropes.
basically. Yeah,
They're basically tropes that were made by
a bunch of weebs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bunch of losers.
Like I was saying in like the spoiler-free section, like everything in this show just makes sense, even though it's kind of like it's the typical trope, but it makes sense in the context because they actually thought about it a bit.
Yeah.
They took the time to set it up properly.
Yeah. Well, any other thoughts on characters or plot?
No, I think
I think we basically covered it.
I think we just
it's
need to
important.
discuss who our best boy and girl are, though.
That's right. I think that's very important. Who wants to lead off?
Let's go with Mike.
Oh, I get to go first. I think we should run through best boy. You know what? I'll just say them both. Let's just make it easier. Best boy in this one. How do you pick anyone other than Ainz? I don't know. But
Yeah.
I will pick someone other than Ainz. I'm going to say Hamanosuke or whatever is Hamsuke.
Hamsuke.
Hamsuke is best boy in this one. And best girl is going to be Shalltear. I could see an argument for Albedo, but I don't think she didn't do enough in the first season. I'm thinking maybe later on she might play more of a role, or there might be like more to do with her, especially when there's a whole arc centering on Shalltear. It was pretty good. I also liked Nabe a lot because I kind of always like the mean character a little bit. So yeah. Jake,
I mean, that's just your wife.
Jay, that's my wife. You're not wrong.
Cole, who? Oh
no, Mike already asked you.
Oh, okay.
Nice
Hi.
try.
For best boy, I don't know what it is about him, but I was interested in Sebas, and I want to know more about him.
Yeah, Sebas was cool too.
He just like, I don't know why, he just like seems very different from the other characters in Nazarick.
He's one of the only Nazarick characters who is like lawfully good.
Yeah, so like I'm very interested to learning more about him, and because of what you said and because of just like the intrigue that he gave off, I'm gonna say he's my best boy.
I've heard in the second season that there's some kind of cool plot development stuff that happens with him too. So,
so I'm really excited to learn more about him. And then best girl, I'm gonna be very basic, Albedo. Just like her, I love her personality. Like just like from the like her like kind of domineering personality, but like into like an almost yandere love for Momonga. Like it's very
Gap Moe.
Yeah, very Gap Moe.
Jay loves his Gap Moe.
I love Gap Moe is like
Save it for the Gap Moe podcast.
And we will discuss this off air. Cole?
Thank you. For best boy, I kind of have to echo what Mike said with how do you pick anyone other than Ainz?
I'm staring at Pandora's actor right now.
I'm going to pick Pandora's actor.
How do you pick anyone other than Ainz? None of us pick Ainz.
Well, I mean, like, I feel
like
we're hosting a podcast, so I kind of have to pick somebody who like people wouldn't expect.
Yeah. I think going forward, we just shouldn't be allowed to pick MC. Just shouldn't be allowed.
I think
MC is fine as long as it's not just like I pick MC because they're the MC, you know?
Yeah.
But you're always going to pick MC.
Yeah, you relate with them and you understand their opinions and everything.
We'll discuss this off air.
Yeah. For best girl, Shalltear.
Nice.
I just find Shalltear more interesting than Albedo.
I think so too.
Basically boils down to
I love Ainz.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very basic, okay?
No, and Shalltear like evolves a bit, and like going forward, she feels a lot of guilt for like what happened here.
Yeah.
So she's constantly trying to like, it's not that much of a spoiler to say this. She's constantly trying to like, prove her worth again.
Yeah.
That in the next seasons.
I think that the real reason you picked her is because you like vampire girls.
I do like vampire girls. She's got a fang.
Yeah, little fang.
I mean, she's got a little fang. Albedo is very good. Like, there's no wrong answer, honestly.
They're both A tier.
Yeah.
But I just think, like what you said, Shalltear just has, there's more flavor to her. Like, she has more personality.
She's more interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't really connect enough with Shalltear in season 1, and maybe that'll change as the story goes, but Albedo just captured my heart more.
Again, Jay, there's no wrong answer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's
no
all
wrong
good.
answer here.
Yeah,
Important question for you both, because Jay, when did you stop Overlord? You dropped it at a certain point.
I dropped like after episode 3 of season 2.
Okay. And Mike, you've obviously haven't seen any of it. Are you going to continue watching?
I will continue watching. I was going to continue watching very soon, actually. I wanted to not... I intentionally didn't watch any further because I wanted to keep it pure for this episode.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay?
So this is where I drop my surprise here. Today, I purchased volume 1 of the light novel.
We knew it.
Today...
We knew big Overlord guy. I've heard the light novel is better than the anime, actually.
Yeah, that's
because
like,
it's such a rich world.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I'm very excited to seeing how these characters develop. How like, and I was kind of alluding to that by saying like I'm interested in seeing where they go from here, and that I'm interested in seeing like how they're fleshed out in the novel and how like how they develop in the novel as well. So yeah, I'm definitely continuing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I
And Cole?
have volume 14 waiting for me at work.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
I got it
Nice.
shipped to me, so I'm continuing
Nice.
where the anime is right now.
That'll look great on your shelf.
I think it will, especially considering those books. They're nice hardcover light
nice.
novels. They're nice. Ratings. We gotta get
hurry
through
up.
this quick. Based on our 5 tier system, I'd put it between supporting and protagonist.
Okay.
I'll put protagonist.
And
I'll go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, for the people who don't know our rating system, those are protagonist, supporting, background, henchman, and antagonist. So those are just what type of character trope we'd assign the show to. I'm somewhere between protagonist and supporting. So I'm going to go protagonist with this one.
Like, it's not a 10 out of 10,
You
but
know
it's
what?
definitely, it'd be like a 9.
Yeah,
I'm going
well,
to
the
give
way
it
I see
supporting. Changing my mind.
so the
Supporting.
way I see it is, so it's like antagonist is 1, 2, henchman 3, 4, background 5, 6, supporting 7, 8, protagonist 9, 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As for my own rating, I would have to agree with Mike, and I will give it a supporting. And you already typed it in for me.
That's good. Because I accidentally typed mine into your spot. Yeah, like, I don't know if you agree with me, but like the plot and the characters and all that stuff are all really, really good. They're all protagonist level.
Yeah.
But just kind of like the parts where it lacks, like the animation and the weird janky CG and stuff, kind of you got to factor that in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely
No,
like
that's
the
definitely
anime
fair.
itself that suffers, but like the plot that was written in the light novel is great.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is like the plot and the characters are good enough that it kind of
Doesn't really
it.
That's
affect
not
you
what I
much.
think about. Yeah, I don't think about
no,
the
that's
janky
totally fair. That's totally fair.
CGI.
Yep.
But whether you agree or disagree, you can find us on Twitter. The podcast has a Twitter called Anipro Pod.
Anipro
Right?
Pod. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I like jumped into this before I was ready. It's like jumping
Yeah.
into a cold pool. Yeah, Anipro Pod. That's ANIPROPOD. Or you can follow me personally, Cole. That's Anipro Cole. ANIPROCOLE. Jay, what's your Twitter?
You can follow me at JGaredian, JayGaredian, and Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me at Gritty Gundam, GrittyGundam on Twitter. And also, we have Instagram, TikTok as well. They're also AniProPod.
That's right.
Yeah, go follow us there.
Yeah, if you could leave a like, review, subscribe, no matter where you're listening to us, whether it's YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is, leave a like, subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And of course, come to our Discord, play Moodai with us.
Yeah.
It's a lot
or
of
just
fun.
chat with us about anime. We love chatting with people about anime.
Or
Yeah.
gaming. Jay
Or
loves
gaming.
talking about gaming.
Yeah.
Or
I
just-
live in the
yeah.
game corner.
Random stuff, like staying
Yeah.
in a haunted castle or penitentiary or whatever it was.
like a prison or something.
Yeah.
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 Good times. Yeah. Links to all of that stuff is at our link tree. That's linkter.ee/AniProPod. Next time on the podcast, we are doing a tournament again. The classic tournament, but this time it's going to be all villains.
Baddies.
So, yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be fun next week. But until next week, we say as we do at the end of every episode of the Anime Protagonist Podcast, bye-bye.
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 Bye bye.